Have you ever thrown away an LED bulb and thought, wait a second, this thing barely lasted a year? What if I told you most LED bulbs don't actually die completely? Sometimes, it's just one tiny LED chip that fails and that's it. And today, I'm going to show you a surprisingly simple and slightly unusual way to repair a burned LED bulb so it lasts much longer. But warning, we're dealing with 220 volts, so safety is not optional. Be careful, stay focused, and never work on it while it's plugged in. Ready? Let's open it up. First, make sure the bulb is completely unplugged. Take a sharp cutter or utility knife. Most LED bulbs have a plastic diffuser cup glued onto the base. Gently score around the seam where the plastic dome meets the body. Don't rush. Slow, controlled pressure. You don't want to crack the dome, we'll need it later. Once you've cut through the glue seal, carefully pry the cup open. And there it is, inside. You'll see a circular aluminum plate filled with tiny yellow LED chips. Now the real investigation begins. Here's something most people don't know. In many LED bulbs, all those tiny LEDs are connected in series. That means if one LED fails, the entire bulb stops working. So how do we find the bad one? Using a small insulated wire, we're going to test each LED one by one. Warning important. This test should only be done if you understand electrical safety. High voltage is dangerous. If unsure, stop here. With insulated wire and proper precautions, briefly short across one LED at a time. If you short across a working LED, nothing dramatic happens. But if you short across the burned LED, suddenly the rest of the LEDs may light up. That's your clue. If the bulb lights when you bypass one specific LED, congratulations, you found the troublemaker. Just one tiny chip shut down the whole system. Now that we've identified the failed LED, we remove it. Use a soldering iron to gently heat the contacts and lift the damaged LED off the board. Be patient. Avoid overheating the board. Once removed, you'll see two small metal pads where the LED used to sit. Now here's where things get interesting. Instead of replacing the LED with a new one, we're going to do something unconventional. Grab an old AA battery. Open it carefully. Inside, you'll find a black carbon rod in the center. Extract that carbon rod. Why carbon? Because carbon conducts electricity, not as perfectly as copper, but enough for our purpose. And it handles heat surprisingly well. We're about to use it as a bridge. Remember the two pads where the burned LED was? We're going to bridge that gap. Cut a small piece of the carbon rod to fit across the two terminals. Place it carefully across the pads, effectively bypassing the missing LED. Secure it tightly using strong electrical tape. Make sure the carbon makes solid contact. The tape is firmly glued. Nothing is loose. No exposed conductive parts are touching anything unintended. This step is critical. A weak connection can cause flickering. A loose connection can cause heat buildup. Take your time. Once secured, place the plastic cup back on the bulb body and press it firmly into place. You can reseal it with adhesive if needed. Moment of truth. Now plug the bulb in, stand back, flip the switch. If everything was done correctly, the bulb should light up again. And here's the interesting part. By bypassing one LED, we slightly reduce the total voltage drop across the series. That means each remaining LED may experience a tiny increase in stress. But in many cases, the bulb works perfectly fine and lasts surprisingly long. Instead of throwing it away, you just gave it a second life. Is this the factory-approved method? No. Is it fascinating that one tiny LED can shut down an entire bulb? Absolutely. And now you know something most people don't. Next time an LED bulb dies, you might look at it differently, because sometimes it's not dead. It's just waiting for someone curious enough to open it.